So I know that most people know the Supreme story, you know, because there's that movie. How many people saw that movie? You know that movie? And the play, Dream Girls, My Life is a Supreme. Well, I'm here to tell you that it's not true. It really isn't about the Supremes. I should know because, you see, I didn't get paid. But I've written 2 books. You know, my first book is Dream Girl, My Life is a Supreme, and whenever anybody buys it, then I get paid, so I figured that out. And I see the girl over there trying to count out how old I am. 70 is the age, darling. So now we the Supremes, we a girl, I feel good too. So we the Supremes, we dare to dream. You know, we dare to dream. And I'm here to tell you that dreams do come true, because I do know that, because we did really dare to dream, and it was like an impossible dream, because we came up in the 50s and the 60s when for black people, colored people, you know, it was an impossible dream. Now everybody thinks there's a star. Actually, everybody is a star, especially in this room tonight, huh? Whoa. Anyway, so I'm told I only have 10 more minutes left, so I better get to telling you the story. Anyway, so now in 1959, I was in the 8th grade, and I entered this contest. No, it wasn't a contest. It was a talent show in Detroit, Michigan. And I was singing the Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers song. Well, I wasn't singing. I was actually you know, karaoke style before it was even popular, right? And so I did that. But Florence Ballard was also on the same show, and she has this great voice. She had this great voice. She was singing, now, we're only 12 years old, right? And we're in this show. And when I went out there and I was doing the Frankie Lyman, I'm not a juvenile delinquent, everyone was saying, go Mary, go Mary, go Mary, go Mary. So after the show, she and I kind of migrated together. Now, in the projects, you know, there are hundreds and thousands of people who live there. You don't know everyone, but I had seen her, had no idea she had this great voice. So we got together and she said, wow, you had everybody in the gymnasium just really, really going. And I said, your voice was so big and so great. So we were saying, you know, everyone's starting these groups. Why don't we start a group? So we said, if anyone wants to put a group together, we'll know each other. So we went home together. You know, we kind of became friends and whatever. 3 weeks later, she came on the playground. She says, Mary, guess what? She said, there's this group of guys called the Primes, and they want to put together a group called the Primettes, and they heard that I could sing because my sister goes with one of the guys. So she said, would you like to? They said they went across the street and asked that girl, you know that skinny girl, Diane, and they asked her if she wanted to be in the group, and she said, yes, so we're going to go over to their apartment tomorrow. So we went over to their apartment. Had our parents known this, anyway, so we went there. So we go there, and it's Eddie Kendricks, it's Paul Williams, and you know, they later went on to become the Temptations. But anyway, right now they're still the Primes and this other guy. And so they said, can you guys sing? And we said, yeah, you know, yeah. So we had never sang together. Florence started singing, you know, the nighttime is the right time. And we started night and day. We just kind of harmonized and, you know, hit the thing, and it was like really cool. They said, okay, you're the Primettes. So we started singing as the Primettes right then and there, right? We're only 12 and a half years old, Diana and I were. Florence was 13, but we were 12 and a half. So anyway, we became the Primettes, and we started doing record hops all over Detroit, Michigan. And then we graduated. We went to high school, graduated from elementary school, went to high school, and we auditioned for Motown Records. Well, Mr. Berry Gordy was there, and we went in there. We were 4 at the time. We were the Primettes, right? Is that there we are, we were 4. Anyway, so we went and we auditioned for Berry Gordy, and he turned us down. He said, come back and see me after you graduate from high school. We were like, what? You know, that's 4 years from now. Anyway, Marvin Gaye had out Hitchhike. Hitch out, baby. So anyway, what we did was we hitchhiked to Motown every single day. And we stood outside Hitsville, and we said, oh, Mary Wells. Hi, Mary Wells, hi. And then here comes a miracle. Hi, Smokey, Smokey. And so, I mean, everybody was coming through, right? And so we were just, every day we were there. Pretty soon, Mr. Gordy realized we were like really cool. So he says, come on in, and he signed us. This was 1961. So we were 16 years old. We were 16 years old, and so we signed, and they released about 6 or 7 records on us. They were all flops. Smokey Robinson wrote a lot of them. They were all flops. 1964, Mr. Gordy said, I'm going to put you with my best writers, Holland Dozier Holland. Yeah. Okay, 1964, we got our first #1 hit. Where Did Our Love Go? 50 years ago. Eat your hearts out. We had 5 consecutive #1 records. We had 12 million-selling records, #1. I mean, the Beatles, all those British, all that invasion, we, the Supremes, gave them a run for their money. We were the only girl group that gave them a run, okay? They have only just started breaking our records. Anyway, we went on the Dick Clark Show tour. And this tour was Gene Pitney, Drifters, Sherelle, and others. Well, we were the and others. Because we hadn't, Where Our Love Go was released, but it hadn't become a hit, right? So Dick Clark wanted Brenda Holloway on the show, you know, every little bit hurts. Anyway, so Motown said, well, we have this girl group called the Supremes, and you can have Brenda if you take the Supremes. He says, I don't want the Supremes, I want Brenda Holloway. So he says, well, the only way you can get the Brenda is to take the Supremes, so he took us. So here we are. We're on there with Gene Pitney and the whole bit. 3 weeks into that tour, Where Did Our Love Go became #1. And we actually flew home. The first time we ever took a plane ride, right? And so we became international stars at that point. We dined with kings and queens. We met the Queen Mother, Princess, I gotta tell you a story about Princess Margaret. She was really something, okay? Anyway, so we did a command performance, right? And we're in line, we're there with Engelbert Humperdinck, Diane Carroll, I mean, just a whole, Petula Clark, whole slew of people. And so anyway, we're standing there after the show. We have these beautiful gowns. They weighed like 60 pounds, no, 30 pounds each, beaded from the necks all the way down. Anyway, so we're, after the show, we're standing there. The Queen Mother passes by. She's very gracious. And then Princess Margaret said, up to me, right to me. She come right to me. She says, well, you know, we had the long eyelashes at the time, the beehives, the big hair, the whole bit. You know, we were like really coiffed. And so she says, ooh, is that a wig you're wearing? So anyway, we were on the front page of the Musical Express in London, England, and there I am looking at her like, in my beaded 30-pound gown, you know. So anyway, I learned a big lesson then, because I learned the lesson that you are, you know, kings, queens, you know, they're just people just like you are. I had people who lived in the Brewster Projects down the hall who acted just like Princess Margaret did, you know, and when she did that, I'm like, oh my God. Anyway, so we became international stars. We did TV shows, honey. We were on with Tom Jones show. Well, I tell you, you got to read my book to get that one, because that's a real good story. We dated before black and whites were dating. But anyway, so we did, here we go. We were like, there's Sammy Davis, Sonny and Cher, the whole bit. Oh yeah, the Andrews sisters, that was so cool. And so, you know, we did Hullabaloo. At Sullivan's show, we did 16 times more than any other acts. You remember that puppet, Topo Gigi? We were on there more than him, because he got a cold one time and he couldn't do it. So, but there's a you know, a video out of all the 16 things like that. And we were the first act to have a television special, Supremes and the Temptations, TCB, Taking Care of Business. We also did a lot of commercials, endorsed commercials when blacks were just kind of getting it. I remember we did the Coca-Cola thing. I don't think we got as much money as Michael Jackson for the Pepsi, but we got, you know, it was cool. And we did an Arid commercial. We even had a bread. We had a bread I'll call Supreme's White Bread. Let me tell you, NAACP went crazy, okay? But the first time we worked in Las Vegas, we did the Copacabana. We did all kind of places. We opened all kind of doors for all kind of people. Okay, and when we got here to Las Vegas, 1967, we got in town, and here we found out that Pearl Bailey was closing the Flamingo, and we were going to open the next night. We said, Mr. Gordon, can we go see Pearl? Please, please get tickets. So we got tickets, and after the show, she was great. After the show, we run backstage, and we're like, bam, 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 bam. She says, who is it? And we're like, Supremes. She says, well, don't you know better than to come back right after I got off the show? You know, I'm sweating, you know, give me time. It was a big lesson that I learned, I tell you. So from now on, I knock very lightly, and you wait 5 minutes before you go back and see anyone that you know. And so my time is up. I got 50 seconds. That's it.